Hi everyone, we're back from Happy Again Pet. Me and Nando are happy to be back. And today, it's a really special week or month because it was Tony's birthday month. Tony is our inspiration of building this company and starting with our first product. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a background about who Tony was and what he meant for us and why this was so important to start the company. So Tony was our bulldog, English Bulldog, just like Fernando. He's a little bigger, about 60 pounds. And we got him in Germany from a breeder when he was a little puppy. He was super cute. And we looked for a bulldog that was really healthy because I love to work out. And he was actually really good in power walking and when he was young. And we got Tony and that breed of an English Bulldog because I saw a little puppy in the city that didn't want to walk. And I started crying because I thought it was so cute with all the wrinkles. So I did a little research because we were looking for a dog that could protect the home and be good with kids. And I think that's one point that's really important if you're looking to get a dog is to adjust and see which breed will fit to your lifestyle. Like bulldogs are not the dogs that will go jogging with you every day, but they're really good in traveling. They're great companion dogs. They have a really good patience with kids, but they can chew on things. So, and most of them are not very active or exercising. Now, I hope like Fernando is bred to be really, really active and he loves to walk. But that's not always the case with bulldogs. So you really have to figure out what fits to you and your lifestyle, not only about if they're pretty as these dogs. I think they're pretty. But if it fits. So Tony was the perfect dog we figured out to get. And he was a really healthy bulldog. Until he figured out that his biggest passion was skateboarding. He loved to skateboard. Now, if you're a passionate skateboarder, you probably realize that is really hard on your joints. So when he turned 8, he got issues in his shoulder and they said, oh my God, no more skateboarding. Now, if you would have met Tony and you tried to walk with him, it was a disaster. Like he would push himself down with 60 pounds and wouldn't move. You could have dragged him around the block. It was every day a hassle. But if I bring out the skateboard, he was like turned. He was running, jumping, just wanted to go. So that was a disaster for us because he couldn't move and he was really upset and he was very devastated and I still wanted to keep him active. So my background is in biotech engineering and at the time that happened, I worked in research of cartilage tissue engineering. So what was actually my passion always is animals. And I worked in big pharmaceutical companies and they use a lot of animal testing, which is devastating. Dogs, especially beagles, a lot of other animals, they use for animal testing. And it's really horrible to see. And I wanted to stop that. So in tissue engineering, we built models in vitro in the lab that like simulates a disease in human cartilage, skin, bones. And we did build these screening metabolisms that we don't need animals anymore. We built those to avoid them. And that was always my passion. And at that time, we just finished a model for drug testing of rheumatoid arthritis, which is a joint disease, autoimmune, but we still had to rebuild the cartilage in the lab. So that's why it was interesting when Tony got arthritis that I was thinking, well, how can I build a formulation that can actually rebuild his cartilage? And if you then look at what is in our supplement is collagen mainly. And collagen is actually inducing the biosynthesis in your body if you supplement it, to continue producing collagen because we lose this ability to produce collagen in our bodies. And collagen is the biggest protein in our body that holds together the joints, the muscles and ligaments. So if you translate that, it comes from Greek. Kolla is glue. And then you have the gen is production. So it's glue production, which is actually the collagen is the glue of your joints and of your muscles and bones. So it's a very important substance for you. And when we get older, the same as these guys, we lose the ability to produce it. And that means we will get issues. So now if you supplement it with the right collagen, you will induce the biosynthesis in your body to continue producing that. It's a little bit like Tylenol. If you have a headache, or it's the opposite of Tylenol, sorry. If you have a headache and you don't really know why, but you have a headache, you take Tylenol, right? That is just blocking the pain mechanism. It doesn't fix the problem. So now here, I want to talk about this old science in hip and joint supplements and the new way of science that we do it. So the old way was to give your dog glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM to ease the inflammation, which is mostly the purpose of those supplements. If you have eased the inflammation, you did not address the pain point and solve the problem. You just masked the problem. So in that case, it will give you a little relief over time because you don't have an acute inflammation in your body anymore, but it will not solve the issue. The same as Tylenol, it will block your pain. But if you don't know why you're having headaches, the body doesn't have the ability to fix this. You don't give your body some substance that will enhance to fix the problem. And that is what the new science of hip and joint supplements are, with collagen and hyaluronic acid and glucosamine that is easing first the inflammation, but then the collagen induces your body to produce more of it, to then rebuild and restore the cartilage. So that's just a little background on the science of happy again, happy days, happy start, that actually helped Tony to get back on the skateboard within a week. And that was a very fast recovery. And it really, the results on joint supplement, it depends on the stage of the disease of your dog, the age, how far is it along? Is it arthritis? Is it something else? We might get that comment on Facebook that, oh, it didn't help my dog, as didn't stop him from limping. Well, you don't know if the limping comes from actually a joint disease and a joint problem, or maybe there's a torn ligament or an ACL. You always have to check with your vet if that doesn't help. Like a supplement is not a drug. It's not going to kill the pain. It's not a cure. It will get your body the ability to cure itself, if it still can. That's always the main thing. So I'm getting back to Tony because we're actually talking all about Tony today. And he was such a big part of that I solved a problem that he had. People asked me to try it, and many dog owners tried Happy Again and had the same results. So as I told you, I love animals more than anything else. And I wanted to avoid animal testing. Now, in this way, I was thinking I can help dogs to live a better life and longer and not have them living in pain. So that was the start of creating our first product. And the company grew and we have more products now. But Tony was the inspiration of it all. And that's why he's still our main mark. So that little dog you always see with Happy Again is Tony. We made him smile. Because he was a bulldog, they don't always look very happy, even if they are. Like Fernando right now is very, very happy, even if he doesn't look like that. So that's kind of what got me to do all that, to make it possible for other dog owners to help their dogs and have them living a better life. Now, Tony was obsessed with skateboarding. Not only that, he loved to be on a sleigh. He loved to be on a canoe, everything that moved. And he was an exceptional traveler. I think he has been in 14 countries, as we drove a lot to get him there. He also flew long distance, but mainly. He was really good on airports. There's never any issues. So I can highly recommend these guys for travel. They're very calm. They don't freak out. It's all smooth, and they help you to stay calm too, which is great. And then they're really good with kids. Like Tony was, my daughter grew up with him. And when she was a baby, he was always worried when she was crying, he was licking her hand, like, oh, how can we fix it? It was adorable. He was a babysitter. He was emotional support. He was a counselor. He was everything. Hello as well. So we're really, really grateful for having that experience and had him in our life. He would have turned 15 this year, which is pretty old. That's why, well, he died 2 years ago. But we're still keeping the spirit of him in the company. And now Fernando is taking over as Chief Tasting Officer. And he's doing a good job. And that's what we're coming with, a little bit of a offer for you, because Tony, as well as Fernando, loved treats. And he loved his birthday party because we celebrated it every year with him having some special cake and some special things for his birthday. So we thought, since in memory of Tony and a tribute to him, we created Tony's birthday box. So that includes these amazing macarons that have Happy Again in it. In each one is a scoop of Happy Again. And then we have, so this could be the perfect gift if you go to your puppy's friend party. And then you have these treats with rabbit, salmon, and chicken. And they're just 100% protein. And you can fill a piñata for your dog with those, or the goodie bag, and give it to all their friends. Fernando is approving them. He loves them over everything. So that is just on the side now. If you want to get to know Tony's favorites, he loved those. But I wanted to talk more about that. The first product was Happy Again, and it was due to a problem that existed. And the dog already had it because he was older. Now, our line is extended to Happy Start and Happy Days. And you might ask why we are doing that for puppies and adults if they don't have issues yet. I'm just going to answer one question. How much is the birthday box? It's $49.99, including shipping. So getting back to that with the formulation, if you think about a puppy, they grow very fast. Some big breeds get really, really big fast, and their joints and bone structure is still very soft. And many people walk them, they jump, they run. It's not like a baby that just lays there and it's very carefully starting to walk. They wild. So we want to make sure that the dogs in that age have all the right nutrients to build those joint and bone structure. And the same with the muscles. So collagen is our biggest protein, but what actually is in collagen are 3 helixes that are made out of thousands of amino acids. Those are the building blocks of our bodies. And collagen type 2, which is the most common in cartilage, in your joints, is mainly 3 amino acids, but it does also have an amount of BCAAs, which are branch chain amino acids, and those are known to be building blocks of muscles. So you're also giving your puppy an early age on the boost of building the muscle structure around their joints, which is really important. Like if you think about us sitting the whole day at the desk and wouldn't work out and wouldn't do anything for their muscles, you will get a backache. Now, you many times see people starting to go to the gym and train their abs and be like really active and strengthen their back. The pain will disappear because they make the muscles around your joints and your back that strong that it can support this, which is really important. And that's why we're starting with Happy Start, giving them already a small dosage of collagen, hyaluronic acid, glucosamine, and the vitamins to it to just make sure that they grow up in the best possible way. It also is really good for their skin, coat, and digestion. So there is nothing wrong, no side effects or any overdosing, even if they're young. And then you continue into the adulthood of the dog, which is mainly the most healthy time of your pet. And you will probably want this time to last forever, which I wanted as well. And the problem is they do age, the same as we do, unfortunately. But you can, of course, get their health up with enough exercises. Socializing is really important too. Give them love and time and get them socialized with you, with other people, with other dogs. The mind plays a big role in health and is often overlooked. But the nutrition part, you can at least actively fix as well. And with the adulthood, the production will still be there for collagen. With us, it starts to go down with age of 25. Now with dogs, it's around 3. Probably not enough research there to say that, but I'll say it's around there. And then collagen production goes down, which means that it's already starting to affect the joints, the muscles, and everything around it, and connective tissue. So what you don't want to happen is that moment when your dog can hardly stand up, because that is actually way too late. You can still support it, but if you want to keep your dog on the best level, you should start early and continue in the adulthood to just supplement. It's not as a high dose, it's just lower dosage, so it's not as expensive as if you already have an issue. And I think you won't get into that issue that early when you do that. And when you support the muscles, and it's kind of like if you work out, and we all take these amino acids, BCAAs and all that stuff to promote us for being more active and build easily and recover easily. So that's why we made these 2 additional products to Happy Again, extended the line into every stage, every life stage of your dog, because we wanted to make sure that we using this new science that is not just blocking some problem, that is actually restoring and building and can prevent those issues. So it gives your body, or your dog's body, the ability to help itself and keep healthy, which, and my belief, is always the best. Don't start when you're already sick. Try to prevent all these things, and don't act when you have to cure something. So that's the same with our dogs, and I'm really thankful that Tony was the inspiration for that, because I probably would have never gotten into the pet industry. I would have stayed in the lab and wouldn't be able to help all these dogs. And we have amazing results, and all these people writing us as a thank you. That makes me so happy to see, and it gives it back to Tony. You know, he's still our spirit around here, and we do miss him a lot. So I talked a lot about that sciencey stuff, and I think that some of you might have an interest to do a more deep dive, and that's my plan for next week. We want to talk about amino acids, their structure, the essential, the non-essential ones. What does that mean? How can your body produce it? What are they used for? If you have an interest in that, next week is going to be a real nerdy science half an hour, which Fernando and me will explain to you in the most easiest way why we need those amino acids really desperately. And now we got a question. And yes, please ask me any question about Tony, about what we do and why we do this. We're happy to answer that. And we have a question. What was Tony's favorite treat? Well, I know it's actually not that good for dogs, but he was a cheese lover. He loved French cheese, and his favorite was Italian. It was called La Tour. It was made out of 3 different milk types: goat, cow, and sheep. And he was crazy for that. So whenever we had like a cheese platter, he would sit and drool very badly, and he loved cheese. I know it's destroying their sense of smell, but I figured he wasn't the best dog to smell. Like, that was another story. I wanted to make him into a truffle dog to smell and search for truffles. And we started with some other mushrooms. And the first experience was when I showed it to him that he ate it. So we stopped that journey. It was not really his fortune to do that. He had other talents. But eating was one of his biggest passions too. So we always had to keep an eye out on his weight. As bulldog owners know, they not very picky eaters. They eat anything, and they love to eat. And that's why we actually brought out these treats that are really healthy and don't get them fat. Now we have another question. Why did you use glass for the new container? That quite understand. I think maybe she's referring to our treat glass or refill glass. We have these really nice refill glasses just to have a better way of reaching the powder. So you can fill the bags into a glass. It's not our no packaging. We actually still have our containers, but we did pivot into bags during COVID, and it was mostly because of a supply chain issue through COVID times. So I hope that answered your question. But back to the treats. These are really, really 100% protein treats won't make your dog gain weight. It's really good for their muscles. It's a great treat. And to be honest, everything we do is human grade. Everything we do at Happy Again is human grade. So these, you can actually put in water and put over your salad if you want it. They are really good, tasting good. Chicken, salmon, I mean, rabbit, I'm not sure. Many people maybe like that. I would stay away. But you can eat them. And the same with the macarons. They're delicious. I mean, I have to stop the team here to eat them all because they like coffee and then a macaron with it. They're all human grade. The same as the powder. Happy Again, Happy Start, and Happy Days are human grade. So if you are working with us and working here, you have to actually take all our stuff and try it once. It's very important to us that we know that the quality is that good that we take it and that we feel the same effect on it. It's not the taste you could argue with if it's good. I don't like it, but I still do eat it. Fernando loves it. It's just natural. We don't put any flavors in it. We don't put any preservatives in it or any fillers. It's just pure ingredients, pure active ingredients. That's what makes it so powerful. So that's another reason why I'm referring always to this old research, because it's over 10 years ago that they started to do glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and since then not much has developed, even if the research in arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis has been really scaling. I mean, now you're giving me a call too. It's been amazing, and it's all done mostly in human studies, which is a mammal. We have the same joint system as our dogs. So it's amazingly surprising that we're still using that old science where we know that it just masks a problem that's not fixed with that. And then on top of it, it's used in a very low dosage, which I get a lot of questions about. Why don't we have chews? You know how to get that whole scoop of 5 grams of collagen into a scoop. The scoop, the chew will be this big. So, and you giving your dog 2 to 3 scoops if it's a dog like Fernando. So I would have to give him a chew that has 80% fillers to make this chew in order to give him these 2 scoops and the amounts that we want. And that will only result in weight gain. So it doesn't make any sense to me. And I know it's more practical, but we're thinking about that this will really give you results and that will actually help your dog and not just make him gain weight. So that's the other reason. But now the new research, and it's been a while, I'm talking new, it's been years. I mean, I did these studies 15 years ago, started with avoiding animal testing, and they still do it. And I can tell you from a scientist's point, you can avoid any cosmetic animal testing. You can actually test it on real skin test systems that are the same. It's like our skin. They grow it in the lab and it's one-on-one. It's not even the thought of like, oh, maybe dog skin or pig skin is different than our skin. This is one-on-one. It's human skin that they grow in the lab. So no cosmetic industry or person needs to do it. They could avoid all this animal testing. And that's the new science, in joint and hip supplementation with collagen and hyaluronic acid. And there's so much out there now that can support the dogs and humans so much better and prevent it and actually make a difference and show that the connective tissue is recovering and regrowing if you supplement with the right collagen. So I'm not going to get too much too deep into collagen, because I think we did that once where we really had a deep dive into what hydrolyzed collagen means and what collagen is. And I'm happy if you go to our YouTube channel and view it there. We have another question. Does happy again cause weight gain in the dog? I would never say that, because it's a pure protein. We don't put anything in it as a filler, which will cause weight gain. Now, if you think about what your dog should eat, is at least 60 to 70% protein in his diet. Then a little bit of carbs and some veggies and fruits, but most of it it's protein, so which is meat. But the collagen, and our collagen, is pure, is 98% protein in happy again, so you would definitely not gain weight. And on top of it, most of the dogs get very active once they start supplementing with happy again. People say, why is it called happy again? Because Tony was extremely happy again to be back on his board. But then, funny enough, many dogs owners told me, my God, my dog is so much more energetic. He's running again and wants to play again. So they're happy again. And that's what happens. So they actually don't gain weight. They'll probably gain muscle mass because they move more, which causes then the joints to have not so much issues, because you're building the muscles around it that will support the joints. So it's not causing weight gain, no. Do you have any more questions for Fernando or for me? Fernando is happy to answer anything too. He might just show you a paw, but he's very good with that. Should we show that? Give me 5. Good boy. He does anything for the treats. That's the same as Tony. He could only do certain things, but for treats, he would do them all. Okay, I think that I talked enough, and that we talked a lot about Tony, and we really, really, really miss him. And I'm happy I didn't cry today. But thank you for listening, and hopefully you tune in next week when we really do a deep dive into amino acids. And if you have any questions beforehand, post it to our Instagram and I will address it. I'd love to talk about all these sciencey stuffs, and I will try to pack it in a way that it's super easy to understand. So don't worry if you don't have a science degree. Thank you so much. Bye.